St. Patrick's Day is finally upon us, and other than it being a great excuse to get a little bit overly drunk, it's also a great time for some good food. So today I'm going to show you my favorite recipe, which is Irish beef stew. Meet me in the kitchen, let's make it happen. Fellas. Alright guys, so today again we're making a nice beef stew. Very traditional in terms of the ingredients with the mirepoix. We got celery, we got onions, we got carrots. We're gonna add a little Irish beer to add the Irish flair a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and break this down. This is gonna go in the braising liquid, so I'm not gonna peel this. This is strictly for flavor. We're gonna steal from it. I am, however, gonna peel and dice the other vegetables that we're gonna add towards the end, and those will be the vegetables that we actually eat with our stew. These are gonna get discarded at the end, so no need to waste the time peeling those. Give it a nice rough chop. Again, this is just for flavor in the braising liquid, so no need to get too cute with what you do in terms of the preparation. Couple carrots, couple stalks of celery, and a couple onions. So today for the stew, we're using a chuck roast. You want something around 3 pounds. This one right here is just shy of 3 pounds. When you buy a chuck roast, you want to look for good marbling, and you want it to be uniform in shape. You don't want to get one that's kind of thick on one end and thin on the other, because it's not going to cook as evenly. We're actually going to cube this up for our stew, about 1.5 inch thick pieces, roughly. You can kind of find the natural, parts in the muscle to help you as a guide when you're cubing this up. So like right here, for example, just follow along that. Some of the pieces may be a little bigger than others, but that's no big deal. They'll get a little bit more tender when it's actually part of the same muscle. So that's a nice little pro tip. So what we're gonna do is cube this up, get into a mixing bowl, season it, let it marinate for about an hour or so. Then we're gonna get the party started with our stew. You can do this in a pressure cooker or a crock pot if you want to, totally optional. But you can't go wrong with a good beef stew, especially when it's St. Patrick's Day. You need something to soak up all that alcohol you're about to partake in. A little green beer, not really my thing. I'm more of a Jameson guy, but let me know in the comments what your favorite St. Patrick's Day drink is. But this is what you're looking for. Those white lines of fat are flavor. That's good marbling. That's what you want to shop for when you're in the grocery store, when you're picking a chuck roast. All right, so for the marinade, real simple, guys. About a 1/4 cup of good quality olive oil. We're gonna go in with that just to coat the chuck roast. That's gonna help the seasoning stick to it. So a good 1/4 cup or so of that. Then we're also gonna add a tablespoon of garlic paste. After the garlic paste, we're going in with a tablespoon of Italian herb paste. Then we're gonna add some smoked paprika and my all-purpose seasoning, just to cover all the bases. A little salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, things of that nature. You wanna go pretty heavy on the salt for this because it's gonna sear and then it's gonna braise for a couple hours. So you wanna make sure that it's adequately seasoned. So my AP seasoning is actually low sodium, so after I season it with this, I'm gonna finish it with just a pinch of kosher salt. Next up, arguably one of the most important steps when you're braising anything is to get a proper sear on the meat. So we're gonna add about a tablespoon or 2 of avocado oil, which has a nice high smoke point. Then we're gonna lay our chuck roast right on in there. Press down so it's making good surface area contact with the skillet. That's gonna ensure you get a nice crust. Then just give it like 3 or 4 minutes. The sear is gonna add color, flavor, texture. Nobody wants to eat a piece of gray beef stew. If you gotta do it in batches, that's cool too. Can't rush perfection. Take a little break, grab yourself a drink.